everyone, and welcome to another edition of The One with the Recapping. I am none other than your friendly neighborhood soda, joined as always by my good friend, Ben Big Fudge Rayner. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I've been living in this apartment for a while, and the electric are starting to annoy me.
I'm not going to lie, I wish my apartment looked like that in a way.
Me too.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, I wish it was more like Monica's apartment, but, you know, it's more spacious.
Is it?
It really looks like it when you look at the sets. And it's something I've actually heard commentated a lot on online. It's funny how they're both in the same building, but Monica's apartment looks like it belongs elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because really, every other apartment we see in that building, it looks more like Joey and Chandler's, and then there's just randomly this really gorgeous apartment.
Well, maybe it is like Chandler and Joey, but maybe Monica's grandmother redecorated.
It still looks that living room still looks way too big.
And bright
Yeah.
on everything else.
That would be the only time I'd be okay with a purple wall. but anyways, that's why we're here. It is a Friends show, and we're going to be doing our top 5 episodes of season 7. Now, I'm actually going to be upfront. While there are some good episodes in here, I don't think overall it's the best season.
In the middle tier for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But some of the episodes are really damn funny.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of great moments and what have you in this episode like that, of course. But, I mean, if you just look at the season as a whole, it's a little, compared to what we're coming off of, like season 5 and 4, 5, 6, and what's coming ahead, it just felt a little off.
And might I say, this season might have more amount of big guest stars. I mean, there are bigger ones in other seasons that we'll get to, but I think this season has more frequent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, looking at the list, there's quite a few guest stars this season.
Damn.
So it's over a dozen for sure.
Yeah. All right, shall we dive into it?
Okay, so if you want to go first, what's your number 5?
It might get punted. The one with the holiday armadillo.
Brief punt, slight punt.
Okay.
Okay, my number 5 might also be punted. The one with Chandler's dad.
Well, that's my number 4. Do you want to talk about it?
That's what my armadillo one is my number 4. So, okay, let's start off with the armadillo one then.
You take it away.
Okay, let's give me a second to find the damn thingy-me-doohickey, because I was not expecting that.
Come on.
There it is.
Really?
Okay. Ross wants to introduce Ben, who is half Jewish, to Hanukkah, though Ben loves Christmas. Phoebe and Rachel's apartment has been repaired, but Phoebe fears Rachel prefers living at Joey's. To prevent this, she presents Joey with various gifts, a spider that scares Joey more than Rachel, and a drum kit that annoys Monica. Ross dresses up as the holiday armadillo to excite Ben for Hanukkah. In 2019, the Herald Dispatch called it the 3rd best Christmas TV episode of all time, which is pretty high praise, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, this movie is fun, mostly because of the scene, essentially everything with the armadillo, because he shows up first, basically because Ross couldn't find a Santa Claus costume this late in the game, so he had to go with what it was, and he came up with the Monday Armadillo, who starts telling Ben about the Maccabees and all that stuff. And then you got Chandler, who shows up as Santa Claus, which Ross is a little upset about. But the best is when Joey pops in. Because, as I found out, not scripted.
No,
the Superman suit was not scripted. Like, that was, but not the dress attire. Like, not the suit. Like, he was supposed to come in as something else, but he came in a Superman suit.
Oh, wow. That didn't show you what kind of cast they have.
Yeah.
Love that. And
yeah, it's something like only people like this could get away with.
And might I add, we find out a strange little finish Monica has? Is
Yeah.
that a class?
Well, you got to remember, she was a little husky at first herself. Maybe it has something to do with that.
I don't know.
Yeah. So this is the piece of trivia I found. Matt LeBlanc wasn't supposed to be in his Superman costume at the end. He didn't have time to change to his normal clothes and came out in that outfit. You can see Jennifer Aniston trying to hold back the laughter.
That's funny because she has a lot of stuff like that, and something we don't get to on this list. I'm sure of it. Yeah, I love this episode.
Yeah, it's a fun episode for sure.
What do you think about having, okay, from this point out, well, that's not true. I mean, but Rachel choosing to live with Joey instead of finding a new apartment with Phoebe. What do you think of that?
I'm fine with it. Like I've like what do you mean? What do I think about that? Like, do I like the combination? Like, what do you mean?
Like, what do you think the reason of, basically, what do you think the reason of that fire in Phoebe's apartment was? Behind the scenes. Do you think they wanted to test other combination of roommates, or do you think?
I could see that being the reason why.
Because
Because Joey does work better with a foil, especially when it's apartment stuff. So I mean, yeah, and they got the right person with Rachel, to be honest.
And to be honest, Rachel and Phoebe didn't really spend all that time together.
That's right.
5, maybe 10 episodes at the most.
Yeah. It wasn't that long, and maybe I'm starting to wonder if that was done just so they could get Rachel to Joey without actually just doing, hey, you want to move in? Like, to make a story out of it.
Right. Something we don't, I mean, going to say something we might never know, but who knows, it might come up tomorrow. Well, actually, then come out of the special.
Yeah, so it would have been, so the Friends reunion would have dropped yesterday.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. And then pick me had a kid in there.
All good, all good. So are we ready to move on to the other one?
Yeah, the one with Chandler's dad.
Chandler tries to reconcile with his estranged gay father, played by the lovely Kathleen Turner, per Monica's request. Monica and Chandler attend one of Mr. Bing's drag shows where father and daughter and son reconcile, and Mr. Bing agrees to attend. Rachel, an irresponsible driver, takes Monica's Porsche for a spin with Ross, much to his fear. Joey takes Phoebe's advice about his masculinity, resulting in him trying on women's underwear. Rachel gets caught driving the Porsche without a license and flirts with the officer to avoid a ticket. Later, Ross is pulled over for driving too slow on the freeway, resulting in similar flirtatious attempts. All right, so what do you think of this episode? Like, I do remember this being a big deal at the time and seeing all the stories on Entertainment Tonight leading up into this because they had Kathleen Turner playing Chandler's dad. I remember that.
Do you think you can get away with that today?
Well, that's actually what I'm trying to look up because I'm like seeing what Glad and all them thought at the time.
Yeah, I didn't found it out, but officially, they were saying his dad was trans.
They've never said that.
I forget where I heard it, but it didn't come out in the recent weeks. And if that's the case, I don't think they get Tinder. I think they might get someone else.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, to be honest, actually, if I'm being honest, no, they wouldn't be able to get away with it nowadays. Because now you do have trans actors and actresses that can easily do that role.
Right.
So yeah. So I don't think so, but there's easily people you could cast in that role.
But don't get me wrong, it was a funny bit.
For sure. it's great, and it still is great. And I've read multiple times that Matthew Perry still calls Kathleen Turner dad.
Of course he does.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a little weird in hindsight. It is a little weird. It is weird in hindsight, but it's done tastefully.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. And yeah. Well, what do you think about the piece storyline about Rachel wanting to drive the porch, but Monica won't let her? What do you think of that?
It's just. I think it's just a fun little one-off that you just forget really easily. Because honestly, the episode, the only reason to watch it is the A storyline. The B storyline is just whatever.
And the scene is funny, but
yeah, the button end of the scene is of the arc is great, where Ross gets pulled over and he gets the tickets anyways. Like that's funny, but for the most part, it's just a storyline.
What do you think about the Joey and Phoebe stuff?
Again, it's forgettable.
It feels like they had something for the fortune, but they needed something for Phoebe and Joey.
Like, I mean, I do love watching Matt LeBlanc and doing stuff like that, because I love how game the cast is to make themselves look like idiots. But I mean, it's just one. It is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So should we move on to my number 3?
Yes, sir. What is your number 3?
It might get funny, but I'm not sure. The one with the truth about London.
It's one of my honorable mentions.
Okay, so let's dive into this. Joey Robbie to me the minute I don't want to say the minister, but he wanted to officiate the wedding of Monica and Chandler. And they let him do it, but as he's writing the speech, he's having a hard time cracking down on it. So Chandler and Monica were like, talking about how and then tell them stuff you know about us, like tell them how we got along, and that leads to them showing the truth about how they really hooked up that first time in London, and with a surprising result where at first Monica wasn't looking for Chandler. She was looking for Joey for a quick one-night stand. Chandler gets upset, fires Joey, made him accused. Like all this is going on, Rachel is babysitting Ben and teaches him all these practical jokes where he plays at Ross, but Ross hates them. Oh God, it is so good. You want to add anything to this, Matt?
I'm waiting for you to get to the end of the episode, because I want to talk about that ending.
Take it away.
Okay. So as Ben here had said, basically Ross is upset with all the practical jokes that that Rachel is teaching Ben, because at this time, obviously, Ben was an only child. So as Rachel says, he's got to learn this somewhere. And basically, Ross gets his revenge on Rachel in one of the funniest ways, because it's actually a blooper that they decided to keep in the show. Ross gets Ben at playing another practical joke on him, and he chases him out of Joey and Rachel's apartment, right into the hallway, and up the stairs. And as you see Ross disappear, Rachel's coming up behind you. Hear Ross go and down falls a dummy dressed identically to David Schwimmer. And it is so funny because Jennifer Aniston's reaction is a real reaction. They played a real practical joke on her. I love it.
It encapsulates how great of a cast this is.
Yeah.
Like, they love women each other. It is the whole Blue Nation Black. Whether it's showing in a Superman suit.
Yeah,
exactly. They love women each other.
Yeah, and that just shows it's amazing to think just how great friends these people are during the show, and they are now. Like, there's stories because of the whole reunion going on right now. You're hearing like all these things about what about the actors behind the characters, and they really are good friends. Like, the women have lunch together quite frequently. And Monica, Courtney Cox and Matthew Perry are pretty close too. Like, really close. Like, she was one of the ones who's there for him when he went through his most recent health issues.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like, I mean, the whole cast is really close, and you
Yeah.
can tell. You can tell.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
What else happened in this episode?
I should still have the thing up. That's pretty much, you know what? That's pretty much it. Like, basically, the main crux of the episodes, we find out the origin of Monica and Chandler, and what.
I'm sorry.
Well, to say, like, I mean, I'm thinking because it's actually, full disclosure, it's been a few weeks since I watched it because I breezed through the entire series so freaking quick. What was it, like 2.5 weeks or something like that? but anyways, really, the thing that you remember is the origin of the relationship and why and Chandler being upset and stuff like that, which I understand, because someone who's like Chandler, who's got a lot like self-esteem issues and whatever, like he obviously and I'm pretty sure he's admitted this, he feels inferior to Joey in that regard. So to hear that, I 100% understand where he's coming from, but it also at the same time, though, knowing the people involved, he might have overreacted just a little bit.
Can you imagine if they did hook up together, Joey and Monica?
Be weird. It doesn't make sense.
Don't forget, in the one in the flashback in season 3.
Yeah.
Joey didn't have a crush on him, but he didn't think she wanted to sleep with him.
Well, yeah, because of the way she was flirting with him, which, yeah, I mean, that is pretty freaking obvious. But I mean, but that's like a good 5 years. They had just met at that point, right?
True.
Yeah, or I guess actually longer than that. Season 7, so that's probably like 8-9 years.
He was moving in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what's your number 3?
The one with the nap partners.
Oh my god, honey.
Yeah, so this is one that every once in a while you'll see pop up in the zeitgeist somewhere through memes or what have you. But basically, Joey and Ross accidentally take a nap together, and much to their dismay, find that they like it. Phoebe and Rachel compete to be Monica's maid of honor. Meanwhile, Chandler's breakup with a past girlfriend because she was overweight places Monica in doubt about him being committed to their relationship. Basically, with this episode, it's the whole Joey and Ross cuddling while napping that is the best, because they're fighting their instincts. They really want to, but they're saying they're not. It's so funny. And then, of course, with all the lengths that Rachel and Phoebe go to for to try to be the maid of honor, like this whole episode is just laughs.
What do you think of Chandler breaking up with a girl because she was fat?
As a fat guy, it sucks, but it doesn't offend me because it's fictional, and and it's something that happened a lot in that media at that time. So I mean, it didn't bother me.
Yeah. Is it possible to lose all that, to gain all that weight in a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
It is. It's not good for you, but it is.
No, we should also touch on, because Rachel with Monica's maid of honor.
Yep.
That means Monica is going to be Phoebe's.
Correct. And that means Phoebe would be Rachel's.
Right. And we get to see one of those happen in the 10th season.
Yeah, well, we do see 2 of the 3 points of that triangle, yeah.
Yeah. And we see like kind of hell Monica puts Phoebe through.
Yes. Oh dear Lord, but that's jumping too far ahead. But let's just say I would not want Monica involved in my wedding party. Ouch. Yeah.
I like this episode. I'm with you. It was a good episode.
Yeah, it's always fun when the three women have a storyline together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kate, so what is your numero dos?
I'm a little surprised it hasn't come up yet. The one where Rosina dies.
That's my number 2, man.
Great minds. Take
Yes.
it away.
Rachel and Chandler both think they broke Rosita, which is Joey's recliner. Rachel goes with Joey to buy a new one, while Chandler secretly swaps his recliner with Joey's. Joey believes Rosita has been healed, so Rachel keeps the luxurious new lazy boy for herself, only for Joey to take it once he accidentally breaks Chandler's chair, and after they tell him the truth. Meanwhile, Monica and Ross visit their childhood home to collect old belongings before the house is sold. However, Monica learns that all her childhood boxes were used to protect her father's Porsche during a flood in the garage. Hers were ruined, while Ross's boxes were protected. To mollify Monica, Jack gives her the Porsche, infuriating Ross. Phoebe takes a telemarketing job selling printer toner and tries to save a customer named Earl, played by the great Jason Alexander, from committing suicide. This is a damn good episode, but if it weren't for my number 1 and what I assume is your number 1, this probably would be the best episode of the season, because all 3 stories are all strong stories. They all could have easily been the A story.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, maybe not Phoebe's story. Has a lesser chance. Let's just say that.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, this is part of the synthesized plot. When it first aired, it was like a 40-minute episode.
I believe so, yes.
So maybe that's why all those stories feel a little flushed out, so to speak.
Maybe. But yeah, oh dear Lord, let's just start off with the first story, which is the recliner. My God, like that, Joey really loves his material possessions, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and the lengths that everybody goes to, it's when Chandler thinks he broke the thing. It's too funny.
What is it? Stevie, I was never here.
Actually, the best part of that storyline, though, is when Joey gets mad and kills Chandler's Barca lounger, much to Monica's happiness.
That was great.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry?
No,
you had a thought. Finish your thought.
I love that. I love each of those stories.
Okay. And then story number 2 with Monica and Ross and their dad, which definitely hits the head home, that they definitely do, sometimes without realizing it, put Ross on a higher pedestal than Monica, because this absolutely sucks for Monica.
Well, don't forget, he is a miracle marvel.
Oh dear Lord, yes, that is true. He is a miracle marvel, but I mean, like that's ridiculous to get right. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, you can't help but feel bad for Monica in this, because like literally her childhood is ruined. Like here's to you jackass trolls. When somebody says their childhood is ruined, it's things like this that ruin your childhood, not because somebody did something to something you love. Jackasses. I'm sorry. I people like that piss me off. But anywho, back to Friends.
I love Phoebe's story.
Yeah, I know you love the Phoebe story. I really do. I do enjoy it too. But I think out of the 3, like this one is just more basic.
No, absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah, but it's fun, and the guest star they have, Jason Alexander, is very good at playing this type of role. He's what makes the story work for sure.
And I love when she's first talking about him on the phone, and she's trying to figure out who he is. A simple line. Chandler? Is that you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's this is my second rewatch, and I'm noticing those more. Man, they really love to rag on Chandler in this show, and it's so good. Like, I mean, they rag on each other, but Chandler's like the one that seems to get the most of it.
Who do you think does it the most?
It's a toss up between Phoebe and Joey, actually. I think, yeah. Like, I know they all do, but I think those are the two that do it the most.
I don't know. Yeah, I tend to agree. So, should we do our honorable mentions?
Take her away.
Okay. The one with Joey's new brain.
Yep.
The one where Chandler hates dogs.
Nope.
The one where they're all up all night.
Nope.
The one with Phoebe's cookies.
Nope.
And the one where it was his library book.
No. I've only had 1, 2, 3, 4 honorable mentions for this. The one with The Truth About London, of course. The one with Joey's new brain. The one with Ross and Monica's cousin. And the one with Rachel's new assistant.
Really played by a great actor.
Yes, by Jim Cahill.
Eddie, I think.
Eddie Cahill, yes, Eddie Cahill. Sorry, I was confusing him with the character I was going to say that I know him the most from, and that is portraying American goalie Jim Craig in the movie Miracle, which is a great hockey movie.
I agree. I love that movie.
Yeah, and if any of you guys watching are hockey fans, because, I mean, if you're American, I'm assuming you do know the Miracle on Ice by now. I could actually recommend a Canadian equivalent to that. It happened 8 years earlier. That I think you'd be fascinated. It's the Summit Series, 1972, Canada versus Russia. There is actually a mini series that was released a good 10 years ago on it by the CBC up here that I would recommend watching as well if you want to learn about that. Definitely top notch.
Nice.
Yeah, it's one I revisit every couple of years because it can be a little long, but it's really good.
Nice. Did you say the name of it? I forget.
It's the name is called Canada Russia 72.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Yeah. It's the only way you might be able to find it nowadays is going to probably be on like YouTube or illegally or something like that. I just had lucky enough to own the DVD.
Before we say our number one, I want to go over a specific scene in one of my honorable mentions.
Take her away.
Yeah, the one with Joey's new brain.
Okay.
Ross decided he wanted to play on it or something at the wedding. So, and he did rehearsing. I think this is the right episode, right?
I'm looking at the synopsis, but I'm just twinging thinking about it.
He decided to take up the bagpipes.
Yeah.
And he's rehearsing Chandler and Monica. Hear him from across the street. I don't know how that is possible.
The bagpipes are loud, man. I don't know if you've ever heard them in real life. They're fucking loud.
Okay.
Trust me. Trust me.
Okay, then. Anyway, I didn't want to talk about.
I got a story to tell you afterwards involving them bagpipes.
Okay. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be off air though. Sorry, folks.
I didn't want to talk about the final scene when he's actually playing in front of the friends. You see if he can play against the and you see if he can play at the wedding.
Yeah.
And they all act as you would expect. Except Phoebe, where she is loving it so much, she actually joins in with him.
Mm-hmm.
And as she does it, you can see Jennifer Aniston, not Rachel, Jennifer Aniston cracking the hell up because of it.
How could you not? How could you not? But actually, my favorite part of that is actually it goes back to when Ross is is in his apartment rehearsing, and Monica and Chandler having the conversation, and Monica's like, "Why does your family have to be Scottish?" And Chandler's immediate retort is, "Why does your family have to be Ross?"
There's some great. You're gonna love David Schwimmer playing Ross. Yeah, he's in the Aswan times. Yeah, he's toxic with Rachel. But man, is he committed to the character.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Like you cannot, like, if you go back and you hear who auditioned for these parts and stuff, you cannot imagine anybody else but David Schwimmer, Matthew Perry, Matt LeBlanc, Courtney Cox, Jennifer Aniston, and Lisa Kudrow in these roles.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we both
It's
have
pretty obvious what the number one is. It's the one with Monica and Chandler's wedding.
Yeah.
Okay. Joey gets a part in a movie and learns the art of enunciation, and therein spitting, from his famous co-star played by Academy Award winner Gary Oldman. He discovers he has work on the day he is officiating Monica and Chandler's wedding. Chandler's fear of commitment overtakes him, and he runs away before the wedding. Phoebe finds a positive pregnancy test in Monica's bathroom trash and assumes it is hers. Joey is relieved he only has to shoot one scene before he can leave for the wedding, but when his co-star turns up drunk, Joey may not make it to the ceremony. Chandler is found, but upon overhearing Phoebe and Rachel discussing Monica's assumed pregnancy, disappears again. Luckily, he turns up again, accepting becoming a father. Joey arrives in time to perform the ceremony, still wearing his World War I movie costume. Monica and Chandler become husband and wife, marrying to the tune of the song Everlong by the Foo Fighters. In the end, it is revealed to the audience that the pregnancy test was dun 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 Rachel's. Yeah, easily the best episode of, or again, this is another two-parter because really any time it seems like all of their season finales were two-parters for a while. Or it might just feel like it because of the way this story is mingled together.
I would say, I think everything after season 3.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because season 4 is no one with Ross's wedding.
Yeah. Season 5 is Vegas.
Season 6 is a proposal.
Season 7 is the wedding. Season 8 is Rachel giving birth.
Season 9 is Barbados.
Yeah, season 9 is Barbados, and then season 10 is the last one, which is 2 parts as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically we did pile this all together, but there's so many good things in this episode. What are some of the standouts for you?
Well, Kathy Turner makes a return appearance.
Of course, yes. Her last appearance, actually.
Yeah, so there's
Morgan Fairchild as the mom. Yeah, it's her last appearance as well.
And one more. No, is he even in this one? No, he's not. But okay, I want to talk about one thing. Okay. Ross is looking for Chandler. Go to a coffee shop. Runs into his parents. Right there is a little weird. What are they doing there? And then they revealed Judy had a crush on Cuthbert and things.
Yeah.
So much. He had her lips.
Nice. That's a nice callback.
Also, when Ross and Phoebe find Chandler again, the second time, as Ross is hugging Chandler, Shaq walks by and he's like, I knew you would find him.
Actually, for me, it is a little bit earlier in the episode, or it might be after, or a little earlier in the scene, maybe after Chandler's on the ground, or it's when Ross basically has the brother talk with Chandler. It says, "You do anything to her, I will hurt you." And Chandler bursts out laughing. When 2 of my best friends got married, the bride is, we've been friends since we were 9, or actually older, younger than that.
Yeah.
So for fun, I had the talk with him because she's practically family at this point. So just for fun, I had the talk with him. It was great.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, a lot of great stuff for this episode. Monica wasn't actually that bad of a bridezilla.
I wouldn't say she's worse at animated one.
Yeah.
But to be fair, not a lot of time was concentrated on Monica.
That's true, because there was a lot, which is funny because her name's in the title for her wedding. But yeah, there's a lot of time spent on everybody else.
Even Chandler. I feel like Chandler was the main focus out of the two of them.
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, it makes sense because out of the way he's been written up to this point, it makes sense because it is well known he has that fear of commitment.
Right.
So I mean, it makes you couldn't do an episode of Monica and Chandler's wedding without having that being part of the episode.
What did you think of Gary Oldman?
Oh, Gary Oldman is great in everything I've seen him in, even the horrible movies. And the over enunciation, basically turning into Sylvester the cat while trying to act, is just, well, nobody does that I've ever met. But it's just so great. And then him being drunk later in the episode, just have Joey having to deal with that is pretty good as well.
And I love when it looked like Joey kept making Rachel is the one who is trying to find another minister. So he finds a quick Orthodox one.
Yeah, an Orthodox.
It is funny because I think she is great.
Yeah, so I was trying to look up this bit because I was going to bring up as well. So thinking Joey will be a no-show at the wedding because he is so late, Rachel goes to find another minister and finds a Greek Orthodox wedding going on. The bride and groom's last names are Anastasakis and Papasifakis. The Anastasakis is Jennifer Aniston's father's last name before he legally changed it to Aniston.
He's a big Hollywood guy too, I believe, right?
John Aniston?
Yeah.
Oh, now it decides to be slow, you son of a bitch. He is famous. I'm just not sure for what. Really, now you're deciding to be a dick to me? Come on.
Hey, I'm
not you, the computer, the web page. But yeah, he is famous.
Here's a random piece of trivia for you. I went to school with Jennifer Aniston's half brother.
No way.
He's a lot younger than me. A lot younger than me. Like, I was in high school and he was in middle school.
Okay. Remember, we don't have those up here, so I had to kind of think, okay, which one?
Okay, he was in grade 7 when I was in grade 10.
Okay. That makes more sense. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it was Jennifer Aniston's dad. He had a pretty lengthy stay on Days of Our Lives, actually.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that, and he's done a lot. He's primarily a TV actor. He has no movie credits, actually.
He was on Days of Our Lives, like Joey and Tribbiani.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love this. I love this wedding.
You saw this live, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I, as I've said multiple times, I did not watch. I watched very few episodes live. This one not being one of them. When the reveal that it was Rachel who was pregnant, do you remember do you remember first seeing that?
Yes, I didn't. At that time, I wasn't sure it was Rachel. Like, even now, it's so obvious to me, but at that time, I was like, maybe it was Phoebe? I knew it was one of them. What I wanted to know, who the father is. That was a million-dollar question.
See, yeah, now here's the thing. I think that is more obvious than Rachel being pregnant because unless I'm mistaken, I don't recall there being any signs pointing it to being Rachel. Were there?
You mean Phoebe?
No, being pregnant.
No. You're confusing me.
Okay, there was no hints given throughout the episodes as to whose pregnancy test it was. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, like, because of that, you couldn't tell whose it was, but when you find out it's Rachel's, it's really obvious it's going to be Ross.
No. When I say who it was, I mean who the father is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I find the question who the father is more obvious, knowing once you know who the mother is. I find that to be more obvious than the question whose pregnancy test it is.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So, like, when you found out who was pregnant, when you found out Rachel was pregnant, you knew who the father was.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Not me.
Really?
I mean, I mean, looking back, yes, it's obvious.
Yeah.
But at that time...
Yeah, see, at that time, I might have been probably in the same boat as you. But because when I watched the episode, I did have future spoiler knowledge to a degree. I actually wasn't 100%. I didn't really know about Emma, to be honest. But, I mean, I knew what happened in the series finale. So, I mean...
Oh, okay. I
mean, it probably could have been... It is obvious in hindsight. But yes, at the time, I would have probably been in the same boat as you.
But, okay, at that time... Okay. Are we doing spoilers here? I guess we can.
Ben, you want to hear something funny? 9 days ago was the 20-year anniversary of this episode.
Okay, fuck it. We're doing spoilers.
Yeah. Anything over 5 years, spoilers don't count.
Okay. So, how I looked at it at that time, well, how I look at it now, there really only could be two options. Ross, or Tag. Tag could have been a viable option.
Which, as we do see in the next season, he does come back for a moment.
Right.
Because of that.
What would you thought of it with Tag?
To be honest, like, now I'm going to put myself back into watching it live, not knowing anything about it. Me at that age, I would have been pissed. It should have been Ross.
Okay.
At this age, if it was 33-year-old me on May 17th, 2001, watching this episode, I would have been, okay, let's see where this goes.
Okay.
Because that's kind of where I'm at now with my viewing of new shows. I don't, especially if it's a show that has been around, you're familiar with the characters, I don't backseat quarterback. I'm just like, okay, you have my trust. Let's see where you take me with this.
I think it could have been interesting.
It could have been.
I think it could have been. Although, yeah. It
would have been different. It would have been interesting, but it just wouldn't have made sense if it wasn't Ross, to be honest.
There's a storyline in the next season that would have been changed dramatically if it was Tag.
That would have been the red sweater?
No. I'm on the episode storyline.
Okay.
The show stuff.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And that would have been so different if it was Tag.
Or even if it would have happened at all.
Right.
You never know. She could have gone in with Tag.
Right. Well, I guess that wraps up season 7.
That does. So, Ben, what can we expect with season 8, which is a lot of people list as one of the best best seasons of Friends?
Well, we have potentially the biggest guest star on whoever.
That is right. The biggest guest star they ever got, which is probably one of the easier guest stars they got, to be honest.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that easy today. No, it wouldn't.
Maybe.
No, it wouldn't. Think about it. Why was it so easy?
Yeah, but they're on good terms now.
Are they?
As far as I've heard, yes.
Okay, maybe. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
We have one of the funniest still episode concerning one of the parents.
Oh God, yeah.
We have. What else do we have? We have.
For those of us who are watching, who are Schmoes No Fans, this is the season where Bonnie Somerville has her multi-episode arc as Ross's girlfriend.
We also have somebody, another person in the another person for an episode with a PhD.
We do have, well, let's just say Joey gets a job for the rest of the series in this season. Dude, he goes back to days. Come on.
No, that was season 7.
That's right, with the brain. Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, this is this one has the Halloween party where it's Ross and Chandler try to have an arm wrestle. Oy, that's sad.
And I believe in the last appearance of Ursula.
Yes, it would be.
And another big guest star in that.
Yeah, and we get what a lot of people say is one of the more, I don't want to say controversial story. Actually, no, it's not controversial at all. It's probably one of the most least liked storylines that they ever did, and that is Joey and Rachel starts in this season. And a lot of people, they don't hate it, but they think they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, look, having gone through it, yeah, it's odd.
Yeah.
It's definitely odd. We see Janice again.
Yeah, because she pops up at every season. Basically, the main thing the main crux of the season is all the trials and tribulations that Rachel is going through while pregnant. And that's what makes this season so great, is a lot of the stuff that comes out of that. And also the one where Chandler takes a bath. That's just that would be the... Oh, that's the episode where Ross and Rachel find out the sex of the baby. Yeah. I was going to say, why are they all in there again? Yeah, because pretty much the whole gang runs into the bathroom while Chandler's taking a bath. Great times.
We also have the birth of a fun new game.
Yes, Bamboozled. Me and my friend were just talking about our favorite friend stuff, and this is one of her favorite episodes. The one with Bamboozled.
I'm sorry. You've been bamboozled. No.
Oh, and the way Chandler flips is just so great. It's called the Stupid Game. I love this game.
I'm sorry, contestants and supporter talk to each other.
Yeah. No, so like I said, so many great things. Oh, and of course, Rachel having to tell her dad that she's pregnant.
Yep.
And also, there is an episode, I can't remember which one it is, but it's the episode where Ross and Rachel actually pretend that they're married.
Oh, and the one with the Alec Baldwin's episode. The one with
yes, I can't remember what it's called.
The one at Massapequa.
Right. Yeah, I do like their storyline a little bit. Like, spoilers, it's not on my list, but I do like that bit a little bit because it's kind of nice. It's a very sweet story, even though none of it is really true.
It's weird because it feels like you're gonna have that same storyline minus that pregnancy years earlier.
Oh, for sure.
Like that could have happened. Season 5, maybe, but
I mean, at least with the pregnancy though adds that fun layer onto it. Yeah, but yeah, I really can't wait to visit this next, because this is one of my favorite seasons.
Oh yeah, it's in the top.
It's top 5. I'd probably say top 3.
Yeah. Definitely.
So on that note, Ben, my man, where can everybody find you?
They can find me right there at man_Ranger. Every Thursday on Shooting the Breeze. Every Friday right here on Recapping. Every Saturday on Get Ready. And also on Saturday, Mount Schmoes show where we can go into players' careers. Last week we did Clark Wolf. This week we're doing Alex that Demon came in. Yeah.
It's going to be a fun one. Definitely for sure. And then for myself, sorry, did you have something you want to add there, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this week Matt will be on as guest.
Yeah, I will be filling in for John this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can also find me on pretty much everything that Ben said on this channel that we do. And then you can also find me over my other channel, Schmoes of the North, which does house Mount Schmoedown as well. Every week we break down what is going on in the world of Schmoedown, 2 episodes that do covering that. And we also do have several other shows. We've got the Best TV Show podcast. We have Canadian Comic Book Corner, which should be coming back next week. And also on this upcoming Saturday, live at 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern, is the second episode of Let's Taco About Star Wars, hosted by Schmo the North Taco and co-hosted by none other than Gold Leader himself, Evan Bushkar. So definitely come check that out. I'm producing that show, and most of the guys don't know what I'm going to do to them during the show, so this is going to be great. Oh yeah, I'm gonna mess with them a little bit, and the topic this week is they're going to be ranking the Skywalkers, but they're going to be doing Legends versus canon. So it's going to be a fun time. So definitely check that out. So yes, like, subscribe to this video, to this channel, to Schmoes of the North, and we will definitely see you guys next week when we cover season 8 of Friends on the 1 with the recapping. Don't forget, everyone, stay sweaty and smash cancer. We'll see you next.